Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. After twice falling at the final hurdle, Manchester United's Amad Diallo is determined to rewrite his Europa League story. From a hopeful bench warmer in 2021 to a driven starter in 2025, the Ivorian winger is back from injury and ready to make his mark in Bilbao. With Champions League qualification and £100 million on the line, Amad believes it's his moment, and he's not just playing for silverware, but to prove he belongs among the best in the world. Amad is determined to make it third time lucky by lifting the Europa League trophy with Manchester United on Wednesday night. Twice Amad has played in the Europa League final, once with United and also when on loan at Rangers, both occasions ending up on the losing side. Amad was part of the United squad that lost on penalties to Villarreal in the 2021 final and was a runner-up again the following season when Rangers were beaten by Eintracht Frankfurt, again in a shootout. The winger watched both defeats from the bench as an unused substitute, but is hoping to force his way into Ruben Amorim's starting lineup to face Tottenham after returning from a potentially season-ending injury, and Ivory Coast international Amad is praying his luck changes and he can help inspire United to victory over Spurs, and with it a place in next season's Champions League worth £100 million. Yes, I already lost 2 Europa League finals, so I hope to win this one, said Amad. I keep praying for that one. It will be really good for me, but also for the team, because at the end of the day, we want some things at the end of the season. I was on the bench before. I was young. I had no experience, but it was a good experience for me to be in my first Europa League final with the team. At the time, we had great players like Paul Pogba and Edinson Cavani. It was a dream for me, honestly. But now it's my moment. It's the moment for the club. It's the moment for the players, for everyone, for the fans, because they deserve this moment. We will give everything. We will give our best to try and win this competition. The showdown between United and Spurs is the biggest in the recent history of both clubs, considering there is so much at stake. Amad was one of the few United players to emerge from this shambolic season with credit, before suffering a serious ankle injury in February, which was expected to keep him out of the rest of the season. But after 3 months out, he has returned to action for a season-defining game for United, and one which is certain to have a huge bearing on Amorim's future. Now he is back, Amad, 22, who scored twice late on as United beat Manchester City 2-1 away earlier this season, is determined to start in Bilbao and show his enduring worth. It's a really good feeling to be back on the team, to try to help the team try to win something at the end of the season, said Amad, who suffered his recent injury in training. I was pressing Andre Onana, then I think my left foot stayed on the grass and turned. In that moment, I knew it wasn't really good, because I knew I'd missed some games. Believing, I kept praying to be back before the end of the season. I'm always positive, I'm always smiling. That's me, that's Amad, so I always try to grow up with positive things. I believe in my potential. I believe I can be one of the best in the world. I just have to give my best every game. That's it. But I think I believe in my potential. I think the manager believes in me too. He believes in my potential. I'm trying to repay his confidence every time I'm on the pitch. This is more than just a tough season, it's a turning point. With Amorim's honesty, Dalot's determination, and a European final on the horizon, Manchester United are writing a new chapter. The question is, will the storm break them or build them into something stronger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Should Amorim stay no matter what happens in the final? And will Dalot be fit in time to help lift the trophy? Ruben Amorim's brutal honesty about Manchester United's dismal season is turning the Old Trafford dressing room into a more emotional and vulnerable environment, according to defensive stalwart Diogo Dalot. The Portuguese head coach hasn't sugar-coated United's woes since he arrived. A record of just 6 wins in 26 Premier League games highlights the depth of the club's domestic struggles. In January, he branded this the worst United side in history, and after the club's defeat to West Ham a week ago, he didn't hold back in revealing his own concerns and the fear that he could be sacked if he can't turn the club's fortunes around quickly. That isn't in danger of happening, with Amorim maintaining the support of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who has someone who also shoots from the hip and admires Amorim's honest appraisals. But Dalot said seeing the 40-year-old so clearly suffering was hurting the players, while also encouraging them to show how much it is hurting them as individuals. Personally, it hurts a lot, especially not being able to be on the pitch. It hurts even more, said Dalot. But it is just something he is really honest about. He doesn't hide his emotions. He doesn't hide the type of communication he wants to express. And that makes him an honest guy, an honest person. That is really hard nowadays to find. Managers and players that don't go through what you are supposed to say or are supposed to feel. It just becomes natural. And I think being and seeing him like that, it makes you want to be exactly like that. If it hurts you, it is a good sign, because you want to change things. Amorim has taken the blame for United's woes this season on his own shoulders, constantly placing his own job in the spotlight and taking responsibility for the run of results. But he did say last week that he felt there was a lack of urgency in Premier League fixtures and appeared to hint that players didn't fear losing enough and were starting to accept defeats so regularly have they arrived this season. Even if I don't feel like that, it still hurts to say, because he is speaking about my team, my teammates, my club, said Dalot. I don't want to hear my manager and anybody around the club feeling like that. So what can I do to change that? That is what I focus on the most. I try to evolve as many teammates, as many people as I can, into the same energy, and then you have to fight. It is obviously something the club will address. The players have to address also. We have to look at ourselves and see what can I change to be better and try to get in the same pattern everyone should be. Dalot talks warmly about his fellow Portuguese and the attitude and approach he has brought to the job, but he insists he does have the edge and the anger required to succeed in the Old Trafford hot seat. Don't get me wrong, he is a nice guy, but when he has to give a stick to everybody, he gives a stick. He isn't afraid to say what he thinks, he said. I think you saw that since he came, that he has his own ideas. He will not change for anybody. Because he thinks he is best for the Club B, and I can guarantee you it's the best for the club. It will take a little bit of time. We see him as he is. When he is happy, he is happy. When he is angry, he makes sure everybody knows he is angry. We just have to keep building because I believe together we will do great things. Everybody made a headline when he came about the big storm we needed to go through. But that is what we are facing now, and we will get through it. And people will look back to this time as something was big for the club. Amorim put his hand into his own pocket to fund tickets and travel to Bilbao for family members of his backroom staff, a gesture Dalot said showed how much he cares. It shows how much he wants to keep the club united and keep everybody on the same page, and how much he is willing to, in this case literally pay, to be able to everybody be together, he said. I think it is an amazing gesture, in my opinion. It could have been easily all the players doing it, but just him by himself trying to have that relationship is something incredible. For all of United's domestic struggles, they have impressed in Europe and travelled to Bilbao this week, targeting the Europa League trophy and qualification for the Champions League. They are unbeaten in 14 European matches and have scored 19 goals in 6 knockout games against Real Sociedad, Lyon and Athletic Bilbao, but they face domestic opponents in Tottenham in the final. Dalot is second most used United player this season, but hasn't featured for a month after picking up a hamstring injury and is in a race against time to be fit for the final. At this stage, I have to go day by day to see how I am feeling every day, but so far so good, he said.